Good morning and welcome to Love Every Moment, coming to you today from Dallas, Texas. Today's verse is 1 Peter 2:10. For you once were not a people, but now you are the people of God. You had not received mercy, but now you have received mercy. Now this comes after last week's verse, and I have the link up here, that talked about the collectiveness of the church. That yes, we can worship God alone, but we're built to be a part of a family, a collectiveness. In last week's verse, it talked about you are a chosen race, a bunch of people, a royal priesthood, not just a royal priest, but priesthood, a bunch of priests, a holy nation, that collectiveness there, and a people for God's own possession. You know, as an RVer, it's kind of easy to try to be a lone ranger because I'm no longer at home at my home church back in Colorado. I'm all over the place, and I really need to make sure I don't forsake the gathering of the saints. So every week I try as best as I can to get to a church service to see what God is doing in his part of the family in different parts. I'm also trying to do this series to reach out to people and again connect that way. It may not be the best, but it's at least not just being a lone ranger. Now, this collectiveness goes to today's verse, which says, you were once not a people. We are a people of God, a collectiveness, and we function better because God has us doing different things within the church. It's just how he's got it set up. And now we are the people of God. It's easy to forget those days when we weren't part of the family of God and how lost we were. Or the second part of it, you had not received mercy, but now you have received mercy. Do you remember those days? For me, it was a long time ago, but those were awful days. But now we've received mercy and we're free to be able to love just like Jesus loved. Now that mercy part reminds me of some parables that Jesus talked about in Luke 15. The context or the reason for these three parables was predicated upon some grumbling that the Pharisees and scribes did because Jesus was the shock. He was receiving sinners and teaching them and basically welcoming them into this family of God. And, you know, they got all bent out of shape for that. So Jesus told three parables. The first one is the parable of the lost sheep. And then this man lost a sheep, he found it, then he says, rejoice with me, I found my sheep that was lost. The second parable is a little bit more valuable. A woman lost a coin, then she found the coin, and then rejoice with me, everybody, I found my coin that was lost. The third parable is more valuable still, the lost son, the prodigal son. The son was lost, he came back and was found. The father said, rejoice with me, everybody, because my son that was lost is now found. And that's the mercy of receiving someone. But notice also, all three times it was rejoice with me. Not just a woo-hoo all by myself, but rejoice with me. You see, when the church functions correctly, if one suffers, we all suffer. And if one rejoices, we all rejoice. That's how it should be. Now back to our main verse. It says, you once were not a people, but now you are the people of God. Now, it's sad to think about, but there's a lot of non-Christians out there who are not part of the greatest family in the world. And they may not get the love that they really need at home or something like that. And so they look for love in all the wrong places and join gangs or cults or, you know, certain clubs or something to find that love that's missing. But we've got a family of loving people and the greatest head of the family you could ever hope for. And it's one thing if I go and love on some non-Christian all by myself, hopefully that would be impressive. But imagine how more impressive it will be if that is multiplied by 100, if we bring him into a truly functioning, loving church, either a service or a potluck or a movie night, whatever, and they're getting this love multiplied. That's how it should function, and that would really be impressive. So let's choose to love every moment, because then we're going to love every moment. I'm your average Rutsch, and I hope you have a great week.